In a world obsessed with wealth and status, sometimes the quietest person in the room carries the loudest truth. This is the story of Rozi, a maid whose courage exposed the darkness behind a billionaire's perfect world. Rozi had always believed that dignity came from hard work. Born and raised in the South, she grew up in a small neighborhood where dreams were often crushed under the weight of reality. Her mother worked as a cleaner, her father, a mechanic who barely made enough to put food on the table. When Rozi turned 28, she moved to the city, hoping for a better life. She got a job through an agency, cleaning, cooking, managing the household chores of people whose names were printed in glossy magazines. And that's how she met Evelyn Rhodes, the wife of billionaire real estate mogul Charles Rhodes. To the world, Evelyn was the perfect woman, elegant, charitable, admired. But behind closed doors, Rozi saw a very different Evelyn. The Rhodes mansion was a palace, gold chandeliers, marble floors, and rooms larger than the house Rozi grew up in. Every corner sparkled with luxury, and every smile felt fake. Rozi was told to stay invisible, no noise, no eye contact, no questions. But she noticed things others didn't. Evelyn's voice changed when no cameras were around. Her kindness turned to cruelty. Her words, sharp as knives, cut through Rozi's heart daily. "You people should be grateful," Evelyn once said, sipping wine while Rozi scrubbed the floor. "At least you get to be around real success." Rozi smiled quietly, not because she agreed, but because silence was her only protection. Weeks turned into months. Evelyn's cruelty grew. She made Rozi redo perfectly clean rooms, mocked her accent, and once even threw a plate because her tea was too cold. Charles, her husband, barely noticed. He was too busy closing deals and posing for interviews about philanthropy and equality. But one evening changed everything. Rozi overheard a conversation. Evelyn was on the phone, yelling at someone. "If this charity leak gets out, Charles will lose everything. Do you understand? Burn those files." Rozi froze. Her hands shook. She realized she had stumbled upon something dangerous. Evelyn's charity foundation wasn't real. It was a front for laundering money through fake donations and overseas accounts. That night, Rozi had a choice: stay silent and safe, or speak up and risk everything. Rozi didn't sleep. Her conscience was louder than her fear. She remembered her mother's words. "Baby, silence protects the wrong people." The next morning, Rozi began documenting everything. Photos of papers left on the desk, names of fake charities, even recorded snippets of Evelyn's rants. She hid the data on a USB drive tucked inside a bottle of cleaning spray. Days later, when Evelyn accused her of stealing jewelry, something she never did, Rozi was fired instantly. No paycheck, no dignity. But that was Evelyn's mistake. A week later, a video surfaced on social media. A trembling voice, Rozi's, spoke over hidden footage. "Behind every mansion, there's a story they don't want you to hear." The video exposed Evelyn's corruption, her treatment of staff, and the fake charity accounts. Within hours, it went viral. News anchors called it the Maid's revelation. Protesters gathered outside the Rhodes mansion. The billionaire's empire began to crumble. Evelyn tried to deny everything, but the evidence was too strong. The police opened an investigation. Sponsors pulled out. Rozi had done what no one dared. She told the truth. Fame wasn't what Rozi wanted. Reporters chased her. Some called her brave. Others called her a liar. But deep down, she didn't care anymore. She stood before the press one day and said, "I didn't do this for revenge. I did it so people remember that the ones cleaning the floors also see the dirt you try to hide." Her words struck a chord. People around the world began to talk about classism, racism, and the exploitation of domestic workers. Months later, Evelyn Rhodes was convicted of fraud. Charles divorced her publicly, claiming ignorance. The mansion that once symbolized wealth became a crime scene. Meanwhile, Rozi found purpose. She launched a non-profit, Clean Truth, helping domestic workers get fair pay and legal support. Her story became a documentary, a movement, a symbol of courage. And every time someone asked her how she found the strength, Rozi smiled softly and said, "You can't wash away the truth. It always finds a way to shine." In a world where power often silences honesty, one maid's voice echoed louder than money, titles, or walls of marble. Her name was Rozi, and she proved that even the smallest hands can lift the heaviest truth. Please like, share, subscribe for more amazing videos.